How can he not be romantic about football? Anything's possible. Anything's possible. This is the Mazz and Badz Show with Brandon Marrazzo and Charlie Baduini.
Fellas, back with another one. First episode post first ever live stream for the NFL draft. We got some business to attend to. First and foremost, we here at the Mazz and Badz Show, particularly me and Anthony Cafone, shout out producer Ant, owe an apology to the 21st overall pick to the Pittsburgh Steelers, the defensive tackle, Mr. Derek Harmon. We were a bit insensitive when he was picked, not fully aware of the surrounding circumstances happening within his personal life. We'd like to say a quick rest in peace to his mother, and we are truly sorry for the insensitivity of ignorance that we showed for not knowing the whole situation. Unfortunately, life happens, and we got caught up in the middle of, talking about draft needs and clowning the Steelers. But we're sorry for that one.
No, we are for sure. Shout out to him, man.
I mean, it's not like we were attacking him personally. We were questioning the pick.
Yeah, we went kind of hard on him though. Like, not even him, just we went hard on like the pick, saying that they need a quarterback and this and that. And you hear just one of the most tragic yet romantic stories of real life ever. I mean, to complete your lifelong dream, walk into the hospital, and that's the last thing that you get to tell your mother before she goes. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, dude. I got a little choked up when I heard that one the next day, and I instantly felt bad. Me and Ant got on the phone with each other like, oh man, like we are just bad people. But I'm obviously maybe not like the worst, but when we mess up, we come here and we like to take accountability. You know,
for sure.
So that's what we're doing.
I think for the record, he's gonna be a Hall of Famer. But the story like that on draft night, like it doesn't get better than that. Derek Harmon, D tackle, even though it wasn't one of the Steelers' big needs, Mike Tomlin came out after the draft and said, we just need big physical football players. That was our draft need, was big physical football players. And we went out and got one in the first round in Derek Harmon. So, he's a standout player. He's in that Pittsburgh defense. And now he's got a huge chip on his shoulder. We want to apologize because we were clowning the pick when it happened on that live stream, but we didn't know the full story. But let's get down to business.
I guess this is what kind of happens too when we're doing live stream, the whole thing of the draft. There's always some tragic story that gets tied in, and I didn't even think about it this year just because we were so focused on grading the draft pick and who it was going to be, and we're not responsible for telling those stories, but when we're not listening to those stories, then we tend to miss them, and it is what it is. But we do have business to attend to. But when we do mess up or we feel that we messed up, we like to be accountable and get it out and get our respects out there to the people that we've wronged. And we felt that we wronged them. So, Mr. Harmon and your family, we truly apologize.
Okay.
Now, sticking with the draft, fellas, we'll get to NBA playoffs right after this. Shedeur Sanders has been the biggest thing going on in the news cycle. I'm convinced that this might have been a collusion effort by NFL owners and GMs. Maybe I'm on the conspiracy train. I just don't understand how somebody with that kind of a stat line drops all the way down to the 5th pick. Somebody please make a counter argument if you disagree.
So I don't disagree with the fact that Shedeur, in my opinion, and this is, obviously I'm not a draft expert. This is just me as a football fan. I thought Shedeur was the second most talented quarterback in that draft. I think maybe Jackson Dart's got a higher ceiling. But I think if you're talking about the best quarterbacks in this draft, Shedeur was clearly number 2. And I think what you saw was, Mazz, kind of to your point, I don't know if it was collusion, but I think some teams just were so turned off by the pre-draft process, so turned off by the entourage he brought with him to the combine. And, maybe in some meetings he mailed it in because he didn't want to go to this place or that place. But I think some teams were just take him off the draft board because number one, we either have a quarterback already. Number 2, we don't want our backup quarterback attracting this much attention. So when it comes to Shedeur being a 5th round pick, I think that was totally messed up. The Cleveland Browns taking Dylan Gabriel over him is a joke, a total and absolute joke. That pick didn't make any sense to me. If you needed a quarterback in this draft and you passed on Shedeur in the 4th, even the 3rd round, I think you made a mistake. I'll be honest.
I don't even necessarily hate Dylan Gabriel getting drafted. I'm still blown away by the pick made by the Saints going with quarterback when homeboy spent 7 years in college. But I mean, looking at like Shedeur, now I'm only gonna defend Gabriel just because he was a Heisman finalist and he did help lead a team to playoff success, although they didn't get the full job done. But I understand like if you were high on Dylan Gabriel just because of the Heisman selection, being within the top 4 finalists, but I'm also with you, Charlie. I think Cam Ward was the clear number 1 quarterback. We all knew that he was going to Tennessee, or if not, was 100% going to be the best quarterback off the board. But I think there was a clear second in Shedeur. If you want to be high on Jackson Dart, I can kind of understand that, him playing SEC ball and so on and so forth. But I don't know if there's much that Jackson Dart can necessarily do on a football field that Shedeur hasn't already proven. Now, what do you want to sit there and tell me? That Travis Hunter was on his team, sure, but Travis also had to play both ways, and he's great, but I just I don't necessarily think that Shedeur played bad enough to go all the way down like that.
I'm gonna argue on that point. I think Jackson Dart, in terms of physical capabilities, arm strength, accuracy downfield, throws over 15, 20 yards, I think beats Shedeur pretty handily in that regard. But I will say, like, Shedeur Sanders should have been a day 1, if not day 2 pick. Like, the fact that he fell to the 5th round and the Browns of all teams had to trade up and make the pick when Tyler Schaaf is going off the board as the 3rd quarterback.
Unbelievable. Justin Herbert's backup at Oregon.
Yes.
7 years ago.
7th year college quarterback who, quite frankly, didn't have great stats in college. I think his last season that he had at Louisville, he had, 24 touchdowns, 6 picks? Like, it wasn't mind-blowing numbers on the field. He's got good attributes, like he's a decently mobile quarterback, but in no ways is he better than Shedeur Sanders. And that's just a fact. So Shedeur Sanders falling, I don't want to say it probably is collusion, right? It's collusion. Like, the owners definitely talked and said, we're gonna let him slide a little bit. We're not gonna draft him. But at the end of the day, I think as a player, right, like when you're trying to get drafted, you're selling not only your skill set and your abilities on the field, you're selling yourself. You're selling what you are as a player, as a teammate, as a leader, especially at the quarterback position, to these teams. And if these teams going into these meetings took away from the fact that Shedeur was phoning it in and wasn't really, too hyped up in this whole process and was just kind of expecting to be handed it to him because he's got that pedigree of being around, athletes entire life, so he knows what it takes, they're not going to draft him. Because it's just a matter of fact, like, if you're not going to put in the full effort and the full time to impress, these teams aren't going to take the chance on you because you're supposed to sell yourself. And if you're not doing that, you're not doing a good job of trying to get drafted. Any counter arguments to that?
No, I don't really have any counter arguments to that.
So here's my.
I feel like we're all generally on the same page with this here.
I mean, like, I'm just like looking at like the stats with it. Like, don't get me wrong, like Jackson Dart was definitely like impressive. I mean, 29 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, 4,200 yards. But I mean, just looking at like Shedeur, I mean, it's generally around the same. He threw 37 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. Like, I just feel like Shedeur.
He ran a more pro-style offense in college under Pat Shurmur, who's been an offensive coordinator in the NFL for a decade before he went to the college ranks at Colorado. So he knows how to run an NFL offense. Like, the only 2 things that I could really gripe about with Shedeur in terms of his game, like his actual on-the-field performance, is throws over 20 yards downfield, and he takes too many sacks. Those are the only 2 real knocks I really have on his game. In terms of IQ, in terms of scrambling ability, in terms of being able to take a hit in the pocket and be able to throw under pressure, he was probably the best quarterback in the draft in those regards. I think he's better than Cam Ward. In terms of standing in the pocket and making a throw under pressure, I think he's better than Cam Ward in that. I'm not going to argue that. I think he was the best quarterback in that aspect.
I will argue that all day just because Cool Hand Cam never looked shook, dude. I don't know if I've ever seen a quarterback in college
to throw every single time.
I wouldn't say every time, but like there was ample time. I'll give you that. But like, listen, let's not act like there wasn't talent going down at Colorado. But I will say this, right? For everything that we talk about Shedeur, and it's always the nepotism and this and that, and we just had an entire summer of talk about nepotism with Bronny James and LeBron James, where like the difference with this one is Shedeur's stats backed it up at the college level. He also rose to the occasion. Granted, he didn't have any medical history, thankfully, that he had to deal with. But like Shedeur, for all the criticism that comes with it, I feel like he's kind of met like the expectation relatively around it. Like, did he fall short in some cases? Like, yeah, Colorado didn't win a natty. It was hard to do that. But they also didn't just have a bad season this past one. They improved dramatically from the previous season. And he's essentially been the same cat all throughout college in terms of stat. There's been improvement like the entire time, but has never thrown more than 10 interceptions. I think the highest that he's been was 8 for like the season. That was back when they were at Jackson State or Jacksonville State?
Jackson State.
Jackson State.
Jackson State, thank you. Like he's just kind of like seems like a constant, and I have to wonder, like, did he go in there to those meetings? Maybe, like I've heard like the story of like Dion, going into like the Giants, and they gave him like a playbook and wanted him to like remember something, and he looked at them and goes, "What pick do you guys have?" And I think they had like the 4th or 5th pick, and he threw the book back at him, was like, "Yeah, I'm not gonna be there for you guys to draft me," and walked out. If you tried to do something like that, like, all right, dude, then you hurt your own stock. But I think that potentially I did saw I forget the name of the writer, so please forgive me, but I saw an article that apparently there's a chance that coaches were very intimidated by Dion and potentially losing influence and their jobs to Dion. Like, if that's what really was at stake, that's kind of soft for me, man. And if you were a coach that did that, like, I need you to be better than that, man. Like, why you worried about someone that ain't even in the building yet? You need to be worried about winning these damn games. Like, GMs, like, you're worried about losing influence. Like, do your damn job and just hold on to the influence. Like, if you win and make a culture, I feel like you never have to worry about somebody coming for that job. It's when you're on the hot seat, you should be worried about it.
And I do think real quick thing. I don't think Kevin Stefanski really wanted to draft Shedeur. If you look after they made the pick, they go back to the war room, and Stefanski's kind of sitting there, a little smug, like a scowl on his face. I don't think he wanted Shedeur for that very reason, because granted, he's a decent head coach. I think Stefanski gets a little overrated in terms of head coaches in the NFL. He had one really good season with Cleveland. Outside of that, it's really been kind of a downward trend. Outside of, actually, I'll give him 2 good seasons. But outside of that,
one with the 39-year-old Joe Flacco, to be fair.
Yeah, well, and he took that team to the playoffs, so I'll give him that. But I don't think he's really been, the godsend head coach that Cleveland wants, right? So, like, having to take 2 quarterbacks in this draft, take 2 running backs in this draft as well. Cleveland had all the pockets in their hands to really make this draft. They made the great trade down, let Jacksonville go and take Travis Hunter. But really, those last couple of rounds there, they kind of fumbled the bag, if we're being honest.
I actually got to disagree with you, and just on the Stefanski point. Like, I honestly think that the only thing that's stopping the Browns from being a really good team is quarterback play, so why wouldn't you go out and get the best quarterback available, which I think Charlie's thinking right now, correct me if I'm wrong. It's like, obviously you roll the dice on Deshaun, that has blown up. You're winning games with Joe Flacco. That should not be happening. Good for Joe Flacco, but I think that's more on the coaching and the defense that we've been seeing out of that team. And I honestly believe that there's been an internal struggle within Cleveland in terms of who are we going to take at quarterback. I think that there was definitely a case made of all the negative stuff that has been spewed over the internet and what we were just like hypothesizing. I think that happened directly in Cleveland, and then you saw the duality come into it where it's like, yo, he's still here. It just makes sense to roll the dice on it. Like, we are going to leave this training camp with a solidified number 1 and a solidified number 2. Is it going to be Dylan Gabriel, Kenny Pickett, Joe Flacco, Deshaun Watson, or Shedeur Sanders? I'm going to put my money on Shedeur if I'm being 100 with you guys.
Well, Deshaun's going to be out for next year. He has the torn Achilles. Mm-hmm. He's probably not coming back next season, and I think it's the last year. They can buy him out at the end of the year, so I don't think Deshaun's really going to be going to play a factor. I think
now we're down to 4.
You could probably cut your losses in training camp after, seeing what you got. Flacco, I think Flacco starts the year off as the number 1. He'll probably play the first couple of games, get things going. And then it's a battle for the two between Gabriel and Shedeur. But I think they're going to favor Gabriel because they used the 3rd-round pick on him.
But if Shedeur outplays him in training camp, which I think he will.
Think as of today, April 30th, 2025, Dylan Gabriel is above Shedeur on the depth chart. Am I wrong in that?
So, I get why you're saying that because they drafted him high, fine, but we have not gotten there. Do you think Oregon would have been a better team if they had a Shedeur Sanders playing quarterback for them?
I think it's hard to judge that.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like, who's the offensive coordinator at Oregon? What was the offense they were running? Because, like Dylan Gabriel was like he was a timing thrower, like kind of like what the Dolphins do or like what the Niners do. Whereas Shedeur was, NFL offense was like a West Coast scheme with Pat Shurmur. I don't know.
Honestly, I think
Shedeur on there, he would have balled.
Probably would have been better.
And I like Dylan Gabriel. Like, I think he got way too much criticism for having success. Like, it's not his fault that he was on a really good team. And he balled out at times, but I can't sit there and tell you that Oregon was always elevated by Dylan Gabriel playing for them, where I do generally feel like
Oregon was just a complete team those years.
Well, I'm going to be honest with you. I know Travis Hunter elevated Colorado, but there's times where I looked at Shedeur and I thought that he elevated Colorado as well. And I think I saw that more times happening from the two of them than I saw Dylan Gabriel necessarily, propelling Oregon. Or was it Oregon propelling him for the ride? Like, there's an argument for that. I genuinely think Shedeur Sanders was the second best quarterback in this draft, even though for whatever reason he plummeted. But teams know something that we don't. I'm just thoroughly confused by it. And the only thing that makes sense is the intimidation factor, which I think is absolutely ridiculous. Imagine never booking a guest on this podcast because we'd be afraid that they would outperform us and a fan would go listen to them instead. That's ridiculous. That is ridiculous. That is the equivalent. Anybody?
I mean, look at Travis Hunter. Team traded up 3 picks and gave away almost their entire first couple round draft capital, and he's one of the biggest superstars, not only in football, but on the internet and streaming. He's on Kai Snatch streams. He's doing all these other things. Like, that's attention that's brought to one athlete. Like, the fact that the Jaguars traded up 3 spots to go grab him, and Shedeur, who is the son of an NFL Hall of Famer, falls all the way to the 5th round because they're scared of potentially him being too big for the team. It's kind of wild to me, right? Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, you have one guy who does it and one guy, and it's fine. One guy who does it, and it's not okay. Like, am I tripping on that?
No, I don't think so.
I'll tell you, who I think is tripping? Jeff Ulbrich. Because if I'm him, I'm putting belt to ass to that kid. Are you kidding me? I just got fined 100 freaking K because you did something stupid. Good God. Charlie, I'm telling you right now, I'm tearing up the house if that was me, dude. I'm losing my mind. How stupid could you possibly be?
Yeah, well, I mean, apparently it wasn't just that. Like Tyler Warren got prank called. Adam Schefter reported that Abdul Carter got prank called. I think that was more of like a league-wide problem than, I don't know. And keep in mind, all these phones and phone numbers were league issued. None of them were owned like personal cell phones. These were all league-issued numbers and cell phones. So, like, it all came from inside the house.
You know what the difference is? His son got caught.
Yep.
I wouldn't be surprised if the others do if they actually decide to like pursue it and investigate it. But his came out like he gave himself away right off the rip. Like they posted the post with it and they got caught red-handed. Like not only did you do something stupid, you then gloated about it in the worst way possible, where like everybody could see it. Like there's just all the brain cells and thought process of educated thinking just went completely out the window, and you just cost your pops 100K. I would lose my goddamn mind.
Yeah, that's stupid.
You know, like, I can't imagine. I always, like, wondered, like, you see, like, Draymond Green, just because basketball's on my mind right now, getting, like, a tech and then, like, boom, a $75,000 fine. Like, okay, that sucks. That's insane. But at least it's for your own actions and you're paying it. I have to pay that fine for somebody else's actions. Somebody that I raised who is of the college age and should know better, too. Like, I am losing my day. You can't even charge the kid. He ain't got 100K. Like, you know, like, you just got to eat this one. Like, you're just eating that sandwich. And I just cannot stop thinking of how bad I feel for the former interim head coach of the New York Jets for the first time in my life.
And somehow the Jets had to be brought back up into this story.
Somehow.
Oh, you knew it. You know. So,
all right, I don't know about you guys, but is it NBA time?
I think it is.
It's been NBA
I think
time.
it is.
NBA time. All right. First things first. A round of applause for Anthony Cafone. Pacers Bucks called it in 5 games, 4-1. Guys, I don't know if you watched the ending of that game last night, but I mean, I think they were down. Pacers were down 7 points in the last 30 seconds or something like that, 40 seconds, and they somehow come back and win the game. Is it safe to say that we've seen Giannis in his last game as a Milwaukee Buck?
I think it's like 60% no, 40% yes.
Really? I think it's closer to like 70-30, 70 yes, 30 no.
Really? You think it's that high
Yeah.
that he leaves?
Dude, yes.
I don't know, man.
No, if I'm Giannis, I want out.
He hasn't stated that. Like he would have come out and said like just trade me now, right? Like it would have been out by now.
No, he wouldn't have said it. He wouldn't have said it yet. Who knows if he would even come out and publicly say something? It would be like an internal conversation between him and the Bucks.
He had some telling comments.
Go ahead.
I was just saying that I think that it was pretty telling from him the other day at the press conference. Where they were talking about like Dame, and he like said that he likes having the ball in his hands. He feels more creative. He gets him more into like a rhythm. Like I think he really wants to be not necessarily teaming up with anybody. I think he just wants to go back to being the focus and feel like he could have the freedom to compete his way. I don't know, man. I think his loyalty has been tested, multiple times, and he's proved that he'd stay, but there's got to be a breaking point, right? Because they're just in hell right now. There's no money to work with. There's not many assets to work with. Like, the only way to get out of it is trading Giannis.
See, the thing is, though, is even if they do trade Giannis, they don't want to tank because they don't own any of their draft picks for the next 5 years. There's nothing to tank for. So if you're making the trade for Giannis, if Giannis is forcing your hand, you're looking to make not a star of equal value, but you're looking for an all-star and a role player to bring back, and then some assets. You know what I mean?
I said this to you, Mazz, last night when we were in our text conversation. To get a Giannis, you need probably 2 or 3 role players, and probably 4 picks. Like it's not gonna be like Luka when you're gonna get him for Anthony Davis and a bag of chips. It's not gonna be like that. Like you're gonna need to shelve out. I know Giannis is on the wrong side of 30, but this guy still probably has 4 to 5 years of prime basketball left, and that's enough for a championship team with a good window to go after. A team like Houston, a team like New York, a team like potentially, I don't want to say maybe Dallas. Like some teams like this that have the capital to maybe go after a guy like that, they could. So like it's possible that we see Giannis going to move this offseason, but like part of me doesn't really think he's ready to go. I think he's going to give Milwaukee one more season. And if it's not, because I think Dame going down is definitely a big factor as to why they lost this series. When Dame was healthy in the series, like it was definitely way more competitive, but he wasn't. So like when he went down, the Pacers had more, scoring on the court, and they were able to get it done.
And that's the thing. One last point on the Giannis thing. If you're like, all right, I'm coming back, your co-star next year is a 35-year-old Damian Lillard coming off an Achilles injury.
Well, he probably won't play next year. He's not playing next year.
Exactly.
Towards Achilles.
So
he'll be back next season. Not even this next season.
That's what I'm saying.
36.
Giannis is not coming back. Not coming back. He's not coming back. Giannis is not coming back. Dame will be back.
Do we think Dame comes back?
Dude, he's got 3 years left on a $60 million a year contract. He'll be back. You turn that money down?
I don't want to see washed Dame, man. We got to stop with these players who are washed coming back and trying to prove something. I hate it because they just look washed and they're not the same, and they just go on these 3-4 year end of their year careers where they just look bad, and I hate it. I hate it. Just retire with dignity, Dame, please. You're my favorite player from this era. Please, just retire with dignity.
You walking away from $60 million? Come on.
He's made more than $100 million in his career.
Another 60, bro. That's more security and more fun. Like, come on, bro.
What more do you need? Just don't make me don't look like an old man out there. I don't want you to look like an old man out there. You're my favorite player from this generation.
I mean, you're acting like he's gonna look like Vince Carter on Memphis.
He's gonna look like Kobe.
Maybe.
Kobe had the worst
Which,
shooting
hey, you know
percentage
what?
his last 3 years in the league.
Listen, I'm just letting you know right now. The last game of Kobe was dope, so maybe we get a cool moment like that. You
Yeah,
don't
but
know.
Dame's not Kobe. He doesn't have that aura.
I do know one thing. Where the hell has Gary Trent Jr. been hiding? 30-point games
Toronto.
back to back. Like, good God, where did that come from, man? You know, I mean, like, there's some things to work with, I guess. Is it enough for a chip? Hell no. And I think Giannis is the chip to get it back. Like, yeah, they have no picks, but you can get most of those picks back if you just are willing to move on from Giannis. I don't think it's gonna be the Knicks for the soul unless they send the Godfather of Godfather offers. I just don't see them wanting to keep him in the East. God forbid having to face him in the playoffs.
All right, now we have to ask the question. Do the Pacers have any shot against Cleveland in the second round?
No.
Yes.
No.
I think they do. I'm with you,
They
Charlie.
could.
I think they do. I do think Cleveland wins, but I think Pacers have a shot, at least. They have a shot. They have a game plan.
Push it to 6, minimum 6 games, maximum 7.
Gentlemen sweep.
Oh, come on.
The Pacers are like...
Gentlemen's.
The last 2 seasons, the Pacers are just the luckiest playoff team in the history of NBA basketball. Teams just mysteriously just get injuries against them. It's crazy.
This is true.
I know, Charlie. I know. It's okay, man. It's okay. Your team's better this year, even though they just lost last night.
Not by much.
Which we should move on to that Knicks Pistons series now. We're talking about it.
Charlie, I have a bone to pick with you.
Okay, hit me.
How the hell are you going to compare that little box? It wasn't even a foul, but that little box out play to getting fouled on the last shot of a shooting foul to win or lose the damn game.
Mazz, did you watch the game, like the whole thing?
Yeah, I watched from the third quarter on.
Okay, they didn't call anything the entire game. And if they had called it there, it would have been ticky-tack as hell, okay? They were letting them play the entire game.
Charlie, letting them play, and then there's getting fouled on the last shot to win or lose the game.
Okay, go look at the free throw disparity. There was plenty of time for the Knicks got hacked by the Pistons, and there was no whistle, okay?
I'm just saying, listen, the timing of fouls matter. And in that moment, I think you got to call that, dude.
All right, so let's go back to game 2 when the last 2-minute report had Jalen Duren fouling Josh Hart on the game-tying bucket with a minute left. No foul call. You didn't hear the Knicks.
I said they should have got that right too. I think they've been messing up. Like, these are moments where you got to call it. Like, you know, like, I love letting them play. Don't get me wrong. I think this has been arguably, I can't remember a better playoffs, like, in quite some time, I feel like. Like, for all the crap that the NBA gets and how soft it is and this and that, like, this has been a physical playoffs, regardless of the series that you're watching, and I am enjoying that. But a shooting foul is a shooting foul is a shooting foul. I don't care if they're in the Knicks jersey. I don't care if they're in the Lakers jersey. If there is a damn shooting foul in that big of a moment, I need somebody to blow the damn whistle.
I think they would have called it if Tim Hardaway didn't shake his ass out and bait for the foul, because he didn't take a legitimate jump shot. He took a shot trying to get fouled. And go back and watch the replay. You'll agree with me. He's looking for it. So if he wasn't looking for it, maybe he gets the whistle.
Okay.
But the fact
that it's a lot more natural than other shots I've seen.
Come on.
You know, I'm not saying it was the most natural shot. Like, I get what you're saying. I hear you. But I question, was that hesitation just because the defense was coming over, or was he foul baiting? There's definitely a debate for that, and I hear what you're saying. You know? But to sit the foul, like, if you would have sent me, like, Jalen Brunson getting fouled at some point on a shot, not calling it, all right, I hear you. The damn... what's it called? Rebound foul that you sent me. I was like, Chuck,
a foul's a foul.
Buddy.
A foul's a foul.
No, it's not. It's not.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not. A foul is not a foul. All right.
Yes,
like,
it is.
Different moments for it. Like, dude, especially on like a rebound, you got to damn near throw a guy to the ground for me, or be completely over his back for that to be a foul. That was playoff basketball. That was a good box out in my book.
That was a terrible box out.
Good box out. He was a little behind, so it was a little bump. little bump action. That's what's supposed to happen. Damn it! To
You've been
box out.
rooting for the Pistons all fucking series, man.
All right.
Charlie.
Regardless of what's been going on with these fouls, Charlie,
Yeah.
what has been your takeaway from this Knicks team in these first 5 games?
When Cat's on, we win. When Cat's off, we lose. I mean, the 3 games that the Knicks have won, Cat has had, I want to say, damn near 30 points in every game. And the games we've lost, Cat hasn't been able to get going. He gets into foul trouble, and he can't get into a rhythm. If either of Jalen Brunson or Karl Anthony Towns scores 30 points last night, the Knicks win that game. Neither of them did. They were both cold. Yeah, I mean, like I'm not like crazy concerned about the series. I have a good feeling that they're either going to win tomorrow or they'll win the game 7 at the Garden. But I mean, it's all this has done is just made me so like beaten and down, and like I don't even want to see the second round, dude. Like at this rate, we're gonna get swept by Boston. Like it's not good.
I was gonna ask you, buddy. Like, has this done like obviously you just like answered it, but like this team. I've been busting balls, right? Like, I've been rooting for Detroit. I'm not a Detroit fan. It's just like, that's hilarious. Like, it's Cade Cunningham and a bunch of question marks, for crying out loud. And it would just be so funny for, like, Knicks fans all over the internet. We got Cat. We're going all the way, this and that. And it's the Pistons in the first round on the launch. But honestly, like, for the squad that you guys have, like, it just doesn't make sense. Like, I don't think Brunson or Cat should have to drop 30 to beat this squad, but apparently there's something in the water going on in Detroit because they just keep throwing punches.
Yo, OG Anunoby was the biggest scorer in Game 5. Like, that can't happen, man. That just can't happen. Like, Jalen Brunson or Cat needs to step up in these next couple of games. And I'm with you, Charlie. I do think that I had the Knicks winning in 7 when this series started. I had the Knicks in 7. I think they close it out in 6 now. I think they're able to win this game 6. But Boston, granted, they did beat Orlando in 5. They did not look like world beaters in that 5-game series. They didn't. Orlando gave them a real run for their money in those games. And I think the Knicks have more talent than Orlando. Defensively, definitely not. But on the offensive side, for sure. So if they can go bucket for bucket with Boston, which I think they can make it a series. I'm not throwing the Knicks out of the mix when it comes to a series with Boston. I know Mazz is smirky because he thinks this is a complete terrible take, but I don't. I think the Knicks have a chance against Boston if they match up in the next round. Because I don't think Boston's a world beater right now.
You know, I think the problem's coaching, man. Just like offensively, like they can't figure it out. They can't get it to a rhythm ever. Like when things start to go bad and they get thrown off their groove, it's okay. Let's pound the ball with Brunson and Cat, and then it's just there's no cohesion. There's
also,
nothing.
Mikal Bridges shot chucking.
Mikal Bridges and OG Anunoby just like they get almost iced out of the offense, and that's why they can't get into a rhythm, and they don't make their jump shots, and it messes everything up. And
this what happens when you don't have rotations. Khalil's been right the whole time. Tom Thibodeau, thank you for building back the Knicks culture, because when the Knicks are good, it's good for basketball, because whether you love or hate them, people are going to draw in and they're going to talk about them. They're going to watch the Knicks. The basketball needs the Knicks. All right, let's just get that out of the way. However, when you constantly coach where it's not getting in rotations, you're not getting guys off the damn bench, you're not, it's not only do guys coming off the bench are freezing cold, it's your third, fourth, and fifth guys on the damn team. How are they supposed to get hot when shit hits the fan? We're just Brunson, turn it up. Cat, turn it up. Nobody else can get into a rhythm. They can't get into the flow with things. Like, it's been coaching, and I think that's why, regardless of what happens, I think Tom Thibodeau's welcome in the Big Apple is where it's welcome, and whether it's going to be Mike Malone or somebody else, I think they've already made the change for player personnel. The next change is either new GM, which isn't going to happen because he's been doing a fantastic job. Maybe he gave up a little bit for Bridges, but whatever, been doing a fantastic job. The only other thing to change is coaching. Charlie's absolutely right.
And the cherry on top last night. Did you guys watch the end of the game?
Yep.
I didn't.
3 minutes to go. 3 minutes to go. Brunson and Bridges get hurt on the same play. Or Brunson and Hart, excuse me. Yep. They have to come out. Brunson goes back to the locker room. Hart's on the bench. And Tibbs throws out Deuce McBride and Campaign. You get a terrible cat shot. You get a really bad Mikal Bridges 3-point attempt. And then Brunson and Hart come back to the bench. They're at the scorer's table. The Knicks have one timeout left. So you can like, I guess I can somewhat understand not wanting to burn that last timeout when you're trying to save that for the last possession if you want to advance the ball into the front court, whatever. But you have your two best players, Brunson, your best player, Hart, who's arguably the heart and soul of the team, who, you know, gets every rebound, chases everything down. You got to burn that timeout to get him back in the game, because it was 95-95 with 3 minutes to go. Brunson and Hart come out, and then the Pistons go on a 6-0 run. And then by the time they come back in with 50 seconds left, it's too late. You could tell me I'm being emotional and that it was the smart basketball play to not burn the last time out, but it just feels like burn the last time out and bring Mr. Clutch, the clutch player of the year, into the game to try and save it for you. And Tibbs just didn't do it. He was just standing there with his hands like, you know, fucking Tibbs. I don't know, man. Shit was pissing me off last night. I was so mad for like 2 hours after that game. So mad.
Charlie, you know, I'm pretty mad too, buddy. My series is going even worse than yours.
Yeah, 31-19.
Yep, currently right now, I should have known. Should have known this. I let Ant talk me into not wanting to be a bad fan. I knew this was going to happen with the T-Wolves, dude. I knew that this damn team ain't built for it, all right? Like, I'm sorry, we cannot put multiple freaking games on the shoulders of the goddamn 40-year-old. I got Luka Doncic walking around when it's a bad night like, whoa, he's friggin' me. Like, you know what the best fucking players do on the planet? They lock in on defense when they can't get their damn shot going. Luka ain't doing that, not freaking capable of it. Austin Reeves, you don't need to leave the team like I thought you did before the season. I do want you coming off the bench, but I appreciate your effort. Roy Hachimura, thanks for coming out, but you're not enough for me. Jackson Hayes is the new version of JaVale McGee on the Wizards. I wish it was JaVale McGee on the Warriors or JaVale on the damn Lakers, but no, I have the Muppet no brain thinking 7-foot ass only having 3 rebounds in game freaking, what was that, 5 or 4? Like the last game that just happened. Like, good God, my starting power forward and my starting center 8 for the entire game. We have our backs against the wall, and nobody's capable of doing a goddamn thing. And you know what's happening? Julius Randle's got a revital going on for his damn career. Good for him. He looks friggin' awesome right now. That cat trade is looking pretty damn even for playoffs' sake, you know? Ant Edwards is exactly who I thought he was, and I can't believe I let this schmuck talk me into taking the Lakers because I was sick of being called a bad fan. I knew what this team was. I knew what they're capable of. And Rob Pelinka, thanks for getting me Luka Doncic. Now, could you please go get me somebody that is capable and willing to go play some defense and get a goddamn freaking rebound? JJ's supposed to be so good. How good could he be? I got Jackson Hayes in a zone defense playing the friggin' perimeter when we don't have another motherfucking rebounder. Are you kidding me? This is the championship squad that I'm supposed to believe in. It's you know what pisses me off about LeBron James fans too? It's, oh, he's 40, everything's supposed to be golden from here. I agree with you, but we cannot here and put all the faith in the 40-year-old. Luka, be better. God damn it, I'm so pissed, but thank God the Warriors, even though they just had a horrible showing, are somewhat gonna make me happy because I got that pick right, it looks like.
Yeah, I remember what Brian Windhorst said last year during the NBA Finals with Luka at the Lakers. It was Mavericks versus Celtics, and Luka was crying to the refs, not getting back on defense, and was allowing his head to control the moment. Luka is such a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde type of player. Sometimes Dr. Jekyll shows up and he'll give you 37-40 in the playoffs. He'll dismantle the Suns. He'll do whatever you need him to do and be the freaking world conqueror that he can be. Or he'll be Mr. Hyde and just show up and, you know, kind of like Mazz said, be lackadaisical on defense. Kind of not show up in the biggest moments. Shoot 0 for 4 in the first quarter like he's doing right now, currently as it stands, when they're down 11 in the end of the first quarter. Like, Luka is such a... We don't know what you're going to get on a certain night in the playoffs because he just is so volatile. LeBron, on the other hand, like, my God, at 40 years old to be doing that, 37 points in the playoffs, shooting 3 back-to-back-to-back threes in that game 4. Remember we were watching that, how crazy that was?
Locking in on defense,
Locking
too.
in on
Give him
defense
some
as well.
props. Give him
He
some
was
props.
single-handedly carrying the Lakers in that second half of game 4. He's unbelievable what he's doing right now at this age. The problem is, outside of him, Luka is, like I said, volatile, and the rest of the team, like Mazz has been saying, is just not showing up. And Edwards is what Luka Doncic should be. That's the matter of fact. And Edwards is carrying a team who frankly shouldn't be in this position right now to potentially a gentleman's sweep of the number 3 seed in the West. Like, it's right there cut and dry. And I think Luka can be the player that could be, a superstar that could lead a team to a championship. He just needs to mature. And that's still, it was the case last year, it's the case this year. If it doesn't happen soon, we might be looking at a case of Luka being a guy that we look back on and say, he could have been so much more.
You know what my problem is? And like, listen, I'll be fair with it. I like Luka. Like, I'm glad that, like, we had him, but I've criticized LeBron for giving up in that Phoenix series a couple years back when AD went down, right? But at least AD went down, and it was literally just him and the rest of the squad that wasn't going to do much. But, like, he gave up, and I was so pissed. You have LeBron friggin' James on the court with you, and you're giving up in the second and third quarter of games when you're not getting the fouls that you want, the shots not falling. God damn it, do something out there. You can't just ask get checked out then if you're just gonna mope around and not rush back on defense, and it's like, oh, I thought I heard the whistle. Okay, that's one time. What happened all the other damn times you're just walking around like, Jesus Christ, this is supposed to be a top 3 player in the sport. And he's just being a baby, bro. Like, it kills me. Like, I get it. You didn't want to come to Los Angeles in the first place. No, this is not the freaking roster to win a championship with. No, you don't have the greatest coach in the goddamn world. He is in his rookie season as a head coach. I get it. A lot of things aren't going your damn way, but you are playing for the second most historic franchise in the goddamn world with, my opinion, the 3rd greatest basketball player in the history of the goddamn world. There's somebody on the show that believes that he's number 1, and you're not taking advantage of that? Are you kidding me? There's nothing to be inspired by? Are you freaking kidding me? How about bringing the freaking purple and gold back to friggin' prominence with a dynasty, and you're the star gem of the whole friggin' mantle crown? No, that's not enough? That's not enough to compete out there? Are you kidding me? I'm at the point where if he's going to be like this, ship his ass out and give me some goddamn trade value.
So 2 things. One, to be fair, it's a 3 versus 6 seed. The Lakers only had one more win than the Timberwolves, just one. So like it's like really close. Number 2, yeah, everyone, including myself, was pretty high on the Lakers going into the playoffs. It's so clear and obvious going through the series that the roster just isn't complete. It's not built. They're not built to compete the way they are right now. And Mazz, the thing is like you really can't exactly like complain about that hard, was because I don't think the Lakers planned on going into the season trading for Luka Doncic halfway through the year and getting rid of your defensive anchor halfway through the year. So I can give them some grace in that department. Yes, you can criticize Luka for giving up in games and crying to the refs and being upset with not getting his calls when he wants them. But it's just like you can't fault them for not being a complete roster, because I don't think there's any GM in the league that would have taken up that opportunity when they could have, when the Lakers did.
And also Mark Williams, too, as well, with the whole physical thing. If he's here right now, it's a completely different series, I think.
I'm going to be honest with you. That was on us. All right. He seems all right. I think he was fine. Like, just whatever. They didn't want to do the deal. That's on them. They absolutely got cold feet. I told you guys, though, that this roster wasn't it, and I was told to believe in LeBron James and Luka Doncic, and I should have known better. I'm mad that somebody on this podcast, a.k.a. Mr. Producer Ann, talked me into this right now. I hate you. All right? I was right. I was right the entire damn time. And I was right about the Warriors. You know what my problem is, though? It's effort. That's the thing. You think the Warriors are necessarily a better roster in terms of name talent going out there? No, the problem is that Brandon
definitely deeper.
Yeah, okay, sure. I agree with that. But, like, Brandon Podziemski is impacting games more than Austin Reeves is. Why? He's dropping the same 21 points, but then he's locking in on defense. All right? Like, that's the difference between winning culture and just having star players on the damn team. We have star players. We don't know what winning culture is right now. There's one guy that knows winning culture, it looks like, and that's freaking LeBron. Luka's gonna learn it. God damn it, want to be here, but I gotta be honest, guys. There's no way that I see us rebuilding this thing without one of the two having to leave. I just don't see it happening. We don't have the assets for it. I feel
LeBron
like.
or
Like,
Luka.
yeah, and
Well,
I think
LeBron's
you
gonna
have to
retire
rock with
soon.
Luka.
LeBron's gonna be gone.
But how long? How long?
I think at the end of next year. I think this
And is
upcoming
that-
years is last year.
And Luke is out in 2 years potentially. So like, how do you entice him to stay? You know, like, oh, we're not willing to make moves. Like, I dare call me crazy. Like, if Luke is gonna be like that, I said screw him. But that's me being emotional for sure. But please be better. LeBron is on the wrong side of 40 right now.
40.
He only has what's up?
The wrong side of 40. Not the wrong side of 30. The wrong side of 40.
I think my mic just skipped. I said 40.
I know, but I'm saying how crazy that is. Wrong side of 40.
Just reiterating how absurd it is.
You know, so it's like, I think that has to be the piece that you move on from. Just, you need the money. Giannis is lurking out there, for crying out loud. Can you imagine if they can pair a Giannis and Luka at their ages in 2 years' time?
I mean, they're not going to trade for... No, I'm telling you, they can't trade for Giannis.
No, I know, but they can get the books open and potentially land him in the free agency. Right? Because he's up in 2 years.
I don't think you're getting him in free agency. I think he's going to be traded.
Before then.
But I'm saying, no, I'm not saying this free agency coming up. Is this contract not up in 2 years, Giannis?
I mean, maybe, but if you're Milwaukee, why on earth would you let him walk in free agency?
No. They're going to trade him. I'm saying if you're the Lakers, you got to start putting in the motions to get that salary cap open. I don't think they can afford all three of them if LeBron's still there.
I think if Giannis gets traded, he's probably going to sign an extension right away with whoever he...
If the Celtics can pay Tatum, Brown, Holiday, White, and Porzingis, then the Lakers can pay Giannis, Luka, and LeBron. Okay,
I mean, we keep saying that.
I don't know
like,
if Bron's going to be around by the time Giannis hits the Lakers.
Also, I'm throwing anything at the wall. I'm sinking over here.
One note, real quick. I don't like your Austin Reeves slander, so I pulled up the stats. Reeves has 17 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists in 4 games in the playoffs. Podziemski 11 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. So,
but he locks in on defense.
He does lock in on defense, and he literally just had 21 plus the other night.
Okay, Reeves is still having a better postseason than him.
I don't
Shooting
think
better from the field too.
Listen, that defense has been locking up, and like Podziemski, I think is playing better. If you're watching,
I am watching.
The stat line does not always tell it. Empty stats are a thing. There's a reason why Michael Carter-Williams was so highly regarded playing for the 76ers. Like, there's like stats are not going to tell us every little thing, and I think Podziemski's doing more.
Okay.
I think the one person that stats are telling the full story on is Jamal Murray and what he was doing
nice transition.
Nuggets. My goodness, bro. We need to study this man and what he does in the postseason. Like, the fact that this dude put up 37 points, shot 8 of 17 from 3, had 7 assists, 5 rebounds, 3 steals, and only 1 turnover. Like, this dude, I'm sorry. When it comes to just not even playing in the regular season and then showing up in the playoffs when it really matters, I don't think there's a single player on earth that does it better than Jamal Murray. Because it's just ridiculous how he does it.
Yeah, I mean, he's one of the most prolific playoff risers of all time. Just was automatic last night. And definitely the main reason why Denver took that 3-2 lead. Now, I'm not still 100% fully convinced the series is over yet. I mean, obviously it's not. There's going to be at minimum a Game 6 in Los Angeles tomorrow, but I don't think the Clippers are out of this yet. I think they still got a shot here as long as James Harden doesn't disappear again, and if maybe Jamal Murray tones back his playoff rising. I think the Clippers still got a chance.
I don't hate that take for sure. I mean, listen, Kawhi can get going, like lock it in, like they can't do anything about it. But the only thing is, for whatever reason, dude, they can't stop Jamal Murray, and like they were doing damage. Jokic was nowhere even close on the damn court. I generally don't know if Jamal Murray missed a shot in the fourth quarter. I swear to God, it looked like 3 threes consecutive, just nailing back and forth. Like, it was absolutely insane. Like, when Ant says that it needs to be studied, like, I don't know if he just took some of Mike's secret stuff from the damn Looney Tunes movie, but that's what it looked like in the fourth quarter. I mean, there was no answer. There was not a shot that didn't look good. And this is why, like, I was as high on him as I've been in past years. Like, of course, the injuries have played in, but, like, when he locks in, dude, he's one of the very best in the damn league.
Yeah. I mean, this is the level he was playing at when Denver won the championship two years ago. Yeah, 2 years ago. So if he can keep it up, I mean, dude, next round, if the Nuggets advance, would be an MVP versus MVP, Shea versus Jokic. Be an unreal series. That'd be awesome.
And we thought without Mike Malone,
that determines the MVP.
So what we thought when Mike Malone gone, this team was dead in the water coming against this Clippers team who's been red hot in the second half. But man, like Jamal Murray, Nikola Jokic, the squad really like buckled down, and I think this team just really showed that it wasn't a coaching thing. They just got the personnel, they got the guys, they got the whole team together that they know what they are. Like they're a scheme that they can just hit their spots, pass the ball around, find the open man, get the shot off, and if they shoot at a high clip, I mean, there's not many teams in the NBA that can really beat them in a 7-game series. Let's be frank. Like this team won the finals 2 years ago, pretty much almost the same identical roster. Like there's really no change in anything. Like this team is great. Like, and I think the Clippers are starting to realize that they have a good defensive squad, but I mean, they got to really hone in here in Game 6 because I know they have the home court advantage. I think playing in Inglewood, it's one of the best home court advantages in the NBA. They need to get it done here in Game 6 and force a Game 7. But I think Denver gets it done this series, man. As much as I was so keyed in on the Clippers coming into this playoffs run, the Nuggets are making me believe right now.
I think it's just so interesting, too, how, like, you expect that kind of behavior from like a high school team, maybe even a college team, but it's like, we're going to play harder now. We're going to lock in on defense. And now it's that just because it's playoffs, or it's because it's the new coach, or just because that they're feeling better, now that they have a little more relaxed situation. I don't know. Like, it's just interesting as how they chose to turn it on when they did. Were they coasting? Maybe. I don't know. It's just like, that is a weird dynamic to me, but they're reminding everybody right now of what they're capable of. And like, even take somebody like a Michael Porter, right? Who like, I feel like has gotten written off multiple times. Like he's letting us know in the series, like I'm still here and I can be like a third for this team. I mean, Aaron Gordon, when he's out there, is a defensive, like, athletic freak, a big body, just shutting down the paint. Like, Jokic, don't even worry about it. Like, I'll take the physicality on this end, well, because I know you're going to be dealing with it on the other. Like, they're just complimentary when they choose to turn it on.
Aaron Gordon is such the key in that entire system. Having a physical defensive big to pair alongside Jokic is what drives that team, because we know Jokic on the defensive side is one of the worst defenders on big man in the NBA. So if you can get at least a plus defender, you don't even need like a DPOY candidate next to him. You just need a plus big man defender next to him. That team can be like a buzzsaw to go up against. And you're showing it right now with Aaron Gordon in that lineup.
He's kind of found that Draymond role for me, right? I mean, like, he's just worried about rebounds, defense, and getting good passes going off. Like, he does not need to be a superstar. Like, he's found the role to be, like, effective. I think that's completely awesome.
Every team needs a Dennis Rodman. Every championship team needs a Dennis Rodman. Last year it was Drew Holiday for the Celtics. The year before it was Aaron Gordon for the Nuggets. Draymond for the Warriors. Like, if you go back last decade, every team has a player like that. You need it if you want to be a championship team. I think there's, I'd say like 3 or 4 archetypes you need in a championship team when it comes to NBA basketball. You need an elite scorer. You need a Jokic. You need a Shea. You need a Jason Tatum. You need an elite scorer. You need a complementary too, like a Jaylen Brown or a Jamal Murray or a Klay Thompson. You need a Draymond Green. You need a defender like Aaron Gordon or one of those guys, and then you need to have a really good 6 man. You need to have a guy who can lead a bench unit. Those 4 guys are what you really need to win a championship. You can get depth pieces all around the rest of the roster, flesh it out, but those are the 4 things you need: elite scorer, complementary scorer, defensive guy, and a guy who leads the bench unit. That's it.
So with last thing here, fellas, we're going for a little bit. Just with those 4 pieces, like, and after seeing everybody, screw the seating out the way, who is still looking like the best for your money with those criteria that you're talking about?
Boston.
Okay, see.
I'm still rocking with Boston to win this series. I think the Knicks make it a close series in the second round. I think Boston gets by, and then I think if they verse up against Cleveland, wraps. I think Boston wins in 6, and then I think Boston does it.
I do think that it's Boston's to lose. I do think that Cleveland series is going to be pushed to 7 just because I think they're going to rise and really just throw the kitchen sink at them. But I just can't tell you a team that looks better than Boston right now. Even when they're cruising against Orlando, like, they're still getting the damn job done, So and they're getting the rest. I fear for the Knicks, to be honest with you.
I will say,
just
they
that
didn't
those
look
players
like
are
world
going to be
beaters
going
in that
against.
Orlando series. I will say, they did not look like world beaters in that Orlando series.
I think they definitely played down to the competition, though. Like, they were taking nights off. I mean, Jason Tatum didn't even play every damn game. Like, I felt like they were just taking turns on who was going to, like, have a night or not.
I feel bad because Orlando, with all the injuries that they've suffered this year, they haven't had time to really, like, mold on the court. I think they could have been a 3 seed this year in the East. I really believe that, man. Like,
they probably would have pushed the Pistons into the play-in.
I think
at
so
some
too.
point. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's just what happens with the injuries, though. I think Orlando's going to be fine. It's just, they got to not be banged up and they get, like, the experience. Like, this was good for them. Like, they're going to be a team to look out for, next 2-3 years plus. Like, they're young, they're hungry. They got 2 stars, if they can get Suggs back out there or maybe make some moves, it's going to be interesting.
Last series we didn't touch on Warriors Rockets.
Yo, I'm telling you, bro, I know that there was just an ugly ass game that just happened here. The Dubs are legit, my friends. They are legit. All right. Steph Curry is freaking Batman. Jimmy's been saying it at the end of interviews, and he's absolutely right. It's just like every time that they need a bucket, he can hit it from anywhere. The top of the line defense will be on him, and he nails it. Even Jimmy doesn't even need to have a giant offensive game to be effective. He's got a damn bruised ass and is still out there and just making plays when it matters most. Draymond Green has got to watch. That's the thing. You know what's going to stop the Warriors? It's not going to be more talent on the court because they've already shown that they can overcome that. It's not going to be better coaching because they have one of the best damn coaches in the damn game. It's not going to be star power because they have 2 of the best stars in the damn game, especially when it comes to the competitiveness aspect of it. Is Draymond Green going to get thrown out of damn games when they need him the most? Because he absolutely changes their entire set. Defensively, he gets on it, dude. He gets under guys' skin. He gets them rattled. Like, you're definitely not hitting the last shot on his ass. Look at Sengun, get a little bit rattled with him. If Draymond Green stays in check, they can compete with anybody. My only problem is it's already getting fiery and it's round 1. What is this going to look like in the next round? What would this potentially look like in the Western Conference Finals if they get there, let alone the damn finals? I firmly believe this team makes or breaks on the shoulders of Draymond Green's composure.
Dude, Warriors, Timberwolves, Draymond, Rudy Gobert.
I got to take a second to
Fireworks.
talk about this Rockets team real quick. If they are not able to get this done here in this first round, they absolutely need to go out and get somebody this offseason. They need a superstar scorer because Jalen Green, my brother, you just ain't it, brother. You just ain't it. I was trying to be nice to you in the lead up to this series. I was gassing you up. I thought you were going to show up in this series, but man, you are just not it. Like, look at these last 3 games. Game 3, 9 points, 36% from the field. 20% from 3. Game 4, 8 points, 37% from the field, 20% from 3. Game 5, the one that just happened, luckily the Rockets, they were able to win that game, but he had 11 points, 37% from the field, 50% from 3, but I don't think he only took like 3 shots. Like, it's not, like, dude, like, you're the number 2 overall pick a few years ago. You're supposed to be a cornerstone. You need to be that guy. Luckily, this past game, You had Amen Thompson that stepped up for 25 points. You had Van Vliet that stepped up for 27 points. He's been kind of wishy-washy in his first round, Van Vliet. Jalen Green, like, man, you need to be that guy if you're going to win this series. And if you're not, the Rockets are going to go out this offseason and they're going to find somebody. Maybe if it's Kevin Durant, because I know he's been linked with Ime Udoka and all these guys. They're probably going to make a push for KD, but if Giannis on the block, I would definitely suggest the Rockets make a huge push to get Giannis because he could be a game changer for this team. Because what they got right now, this team should be a lot better than what they were. I think on paper, roster for roster, they should be running the Warriors off the floor. They have the youth, they have the defense, they have the scoring. They need to be able to put all those three facets together in order to beat this Warriors team, and they just haven't been able to do it. Tonight, they did here in Game 5. They got to do it 2 more times, and I don't know if they can do it. I'm going to say no, they don't.
Shout out Fred VanVleet, and I don't think that they do it 2 more times. I think the Warriors absolutely took the night off. This game was even winnable. Steve Kerr, all he had to do was just put Steph back into the damn game in the fourth quarter. Chose not to. They had it down to 13 with the backup unit. You know what the problem why I think that you're being too hard on this Rockets team? They're inexperienced. Is this not their first playoff as a unit? This is Jalen Green's first playoff thing. So it's like, don't get me wrong. You want to go out and get a Giannis, I'm never going to fault you for that. But don't blow it up just because you don't have faith in it. It's been one damn playoff, for crying out loud. This is a solid unit with a great head coach, one who I've said multiple times, and I'll say it again, I wish was my damn head coach. That's how high that I am on Mr. Udoka. All right? This team, just give them another year. It's going to be a whole nother thing. We were criticizing OKC last year, and now look at them. This is what the Rockets could be. They've done the right moves. You don't need to go out there and make the big splash. However, getting a Giannis is going to be great for anybody's franchise. But I'm not giving up the world for Kevin Durant, especially at his age. I'm not giving up the world for somebody else that isn't proven and tested in playoffs. You know, so like it depends on who you're going to go get if you're going to break this apart, but you're still doing pretty damn well. The only problem is that, you know, they're giving $38 million a year to my man Fred VanVleet, who I love, but like, yeah, they could probably use another piece, but he's actually been the reason why they're winning games right now because he's just popping off because experience matters. Being in the situation matters. Like being a champion and having a big role on it matters. Give this team another year, they're going to be just fine. The problem is they're just out-experienced right now when it comes to Jimmy Butler and especially Steph Curry and even Draymond Green. Like, there's just too much experience to negate. Look at it, just even like the situations. After scuffles happen, they're still heated. They're still thinking about it. The Warriors are already like, bet, we did what we wanted to do. We unraveled them. Now let's go kill them. It's been happening every damn time, except this game. Muted, buddy.
Thank you. More to Ant's larger point, I just think I think if you are gonna go send out a massive trade offer for a Giannis or another superstar of that caliber, I think Jalen Green is the trade chip. Just in terms of
he's got to be.
Yeah, he is. Şengün at least has been an all-star. At least he's got some more room to develop and grow. Jalen Green, I just feel like as like that player archetype is never going to be your number one. Like on a championship
shot chucking,
so
inefficient.
Could it be a number 2? Could it be a number 2?
Maybe more like a number 3.
I don't know. I just, you guys are gonna call me crazy. I think he's gonna be fine moving forward. I think they've already said that Amen Thompson is not even touchable in these trade packages. Like that's a piece that you're gonna be looking for. I like Şengün.
Untouchables. Him and Şengün.
I don't know, dude. I feel like Şengün for Giannis, I kind of like it. I think if you swap out the two, I'd be a fan more so of the front court.
Şengün and Giannis would be insane. Who's stopping that?
I feel like if you put Giannis with Mr. Steven Adams, though, like, you know, they're controlling the game in a completely different way.
It's not the same, bro.
And then I'm still having my wing attack.
Steven Adams ain't putting up 21 a night. Not happening.
I get that, but they're going to control the rebounds. They're going to be controlling the defensive side of things. And then you're raining things from the perimeter with the Giannis. And Giannis being that playmaker with it. Fred VanVleet from the damn wing. Green from the wing.
Giannis with Steven Adams is the same thing as Giannis with Brook Lopez. It's the same thing.
The only difference is, no, hold on. There's a lot more deeper of a bench and a lot more better coaching going on here. You know, it's a completely different situation. It is more options, more depth, better culture. Second star will be actually on the damn court. Unfortunately, Dame's injured. You know, it would be completely different. Like, I hear what you're saying. I'm just saying, like, that's not even a bad thing. That front court has won you a damn championship, and they could do it again. This time they'd have the damn depth to get after it. That's why I think should be Şengün, but I hear what you're saying.
Well, you know, it's all right. The Rockets won't have to worry about Giannis because he's going to the Knicks. So
they're not trading him within the damn conference. They're shipping him out of the East, unless it's what Godfather package you gonna offer him?
Cat,
okay,
Mikal Bridges, 3 firsts.
Do you have the 3 firsts?
Yeah.
It could work. I don't think they're
Let's
worried
pull it
about
up.
trading outside of conference. I think they're worried about getting assets for Giannis. That's what they
The
care
question
about.
is that the best package that they could get? I can't even lie. That's a hell of a package, but maybe there's something better out
There you
there.
go, pause.
The Knicks still have a first in 25, 26, and 2030.
Yo, call me crazy. Memphis has been ringing in my ear since I've been hearing this. Am I nuts for that one? I feel like
They'd
they
have to
just
give up
need it.
Jaren Jackson. They'd have to.
Yeah,
That's fine with me.
I feel like he clashes with Jaren Jackson a little too much, though.
I think that's why Jaren Jackson would be part of the package.
I don't. If I'm Memphis, I'm shipping Ja out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know, buddy. I know
many-
you're so high on Jaw
too
because
many-
he does flashy dunks.
No,
but
Too many injuries. Doesn't
it's
stay on the court.
more than that, but I understand why they would do it. I wouldn't even hate it. You know, I get it, dude. He's awesome, though. Don't get me wrong. But listen, this is what it is. We still got a lot of playoffs, fellas, and I would love to enjoy the second half of this Lakers game. So thank you guys for coming out here on a Wednesday night at freaking 10 o'clock, getting after it. Charlie, I want to shout out your family's, your girlfriend's family and the stuff that they're going through right now, brother. Prayers up over there. And you know, bro, like, thank you guys for taking the journey, and we'll be back with another great episode.
You have been listening to the Mazz and Bad Show with Brandon Marrazzo and Charlie Baduini.